Thanks, Ruhel, for such kind words. It has been a long day. I'm not going to take much time, trust me. I don't know how you guys came. I literally swam here probably to save my life. Many people have given many examples I saw, and there's nothing much to add maybe. But from a perspective of liquor industry, I've been in beer industry for long, including Carlsberg, India, and Mao India. So, which fortunately and unfortunately enough, is extremely restricted by rules and norms to advertise, right? So that ties your hand and that makes you go more innovative in the way you would do activations or whatever, do brand marketing in the market. So the advantage is that since you cannot do much of ATL, so you're bound to do more of point of sale kind of an experience or push, pull, whatever you call it. And that's where I myself have learned a lot of things that which we never thought was possible. Just to give you a few examples, interesting things. Now my first question is there a difference between experiential marketing and immersive marketing? Yes or no? Somebody said yes, right? So I don't know, it's my humble opinion. Because immersive has experiential, but experiential need not be immersive because immersive has a technology component added to it. But essentially they are the same thing. It's just 10 years back we used to do more physical experiential stuff. Now with AR and VR and all the technology that we are bound in every sector to go using more technology adoption. It's natural, normal for Gen Z, Alpha, Beta, Theta, whoever are coming now, right? So they're always on the phones. So I will give some examples of experiential marketing which were traditionally done, say 10 years before when I was in Carlsberg and launched Carlsberg and Tuborg, or even during Mao. And now some examples which may not be happening currently, but more or less are global ways of doing this kind of experiential in a more immersive way of how to involve the consumers. For example, when we launched, I remember Tuborg, our main USP was the pull-off cap. Nobody had a pull-off cap before. It was the first, before Ultra came in, Kingfisher Ultra. So one interesting thing in India is that we drink to get drunk. Yes or no? Right? Bas chadni chahiye na, pee. Which is somehow not the objective of alcohol or any alcohol, not only beer, anywhere in the globe. So one way was to tell people, okay, drink a lot of Tuborg. We give some offers, we run CSM schemes, we go key on trades, and etc. Of course we do that. The other way was to put it in the mind of the people that, you know, we are the first beer with a pull-off cap. How do we do it? Again, on outlets, we need outlets to do that. We did something called Tuborg Hour, where half an hour, obviously Tuborg was free. That is for sure. But each and every event, contest and games, we created around the pull-off cap. So when you pull it off, there's a pop sound. So we had to tell the bartenders that please don't open it and give it to them. This is an experience not only the consumers, but the customers who are the bartenders needed to be taught. Sometimes we forget that experiential is only for the consumers. In alcohol industry, I'm saying. We have a B2B model where the customers are equally important, right? So we taught them first that this pop sound is very interesting because of the pull-off cap. And then we made different games like frog jump, having a ring ceremony, putting it up. And we did contests like come up with 5 different things that you can do with this cap, for example. So that made it very sticky. So the stickiness is a very big factor. Why will the consumer remember you? What it is that you did so different from others, right? So it was not about drinking beer, for example. Then we did something called Men Can Cook with Carlsberg. We took the CXO community who does not have time, that was the insight. And we said, you know what, men can cook also. It's not a woman's domain, right? And we got PR and everything. Those days bloggers were not there. So PR and everything. And what we did, which we did in Mao also later on, we told them to use the ingredient, which is Carlsberg beer, and make something, cook something. We took a celebrity chef, etc. We had PR, everything, right? Somewhat similar in Mao also we did Mao Maestra Chef contest. So now in Spain, the very interesting thing is that वो चढ़नी चाहिए तो है ही नहीं वहाँ पे ना ये वो कानियास छोटा-छोटा होता है जैसे हमारा टपरी वाला जो ग्लास नहीं होता इस तरह का. And the reason is that the foam keeps the beer cool, right? I've never seen, I live in Spain now, I've never seen anybody drunk or tully and dropping off the road or doing anything, whatever. The object, because they drink cañas with tapas. Tapas are small bites of food. And they do it over a long period of time. So its objective is never to get drunk. It's about socializing, right? So in Mao, we try to do a lot of PR also around it. That beer is not about this, it's about socializing. It's food, it's gastronomy, you need to experience and understand. So we did beer appreciation sessions, not only for the consumers, what is beer, but also for the customers, like the bar guys, the people who serve, the CSM as we call it, counter salesman, right? Because in India, somehow whiskey and wine is old, and people kind of know a little bit about what is a wine and a whiskey, right? If you're a avid whiskey drinker, you will not go and drink any whiskey, you will know the story. But beer people didn't have when we came in much knowledge. What is a beer? How is it made? What does it comprise of? What is the ABV? What is the alcohol? What type of beers are there? Top fermented, bottom fermented, whatever. So we did beer appreciation sessions where we included not only normal consumers and bloggers and influencers to tell the story, we also did it for the customers, which is the trade people, our outlet guys, and the front staff bar guys, because when they are the people who represents it to our consumers, right? So they did not know about beer. So they were not recommending our beer. So it was a job of like first movers advantage of to teach what beer was. This is also experiential. It's not about only consumers, it's also for customers, okay? Then we had Spanish nights. So we know that Spanish beer, I also thought about it, like Ricky Martin is not Spanish, he's Latino. So, but we said, India mein kya kisko फर्क पड़ता है कि कौन है, चला दो भाई, रिकी मार्टिन ही चला दो, जो भी है इवेंट में. But the concept was to create this Spanish night ambience where you're having the cañas and you're having small tapas and you're having a good Spanish experience of dance and this and that, etc. So the consumer is going out of that event with the feel that I had a good Spanish night, and you know what? Mao is a very good Spanish beer, right? So, and then we do food combos, etc. That is the business part of it, because the restaurant can also earn of it. That's the tactical stuff that we do. That's also experiential. Also, for example, parties, Holi. Holi mein what we do, tapas, coming to that. Tapas is a Spanish concept, usko Indian banaya hum logon ne. Ki ab Indian tapas banao? Samosa to tapas wala hai, bites hai. So in this Mao Maestro Chef contest, we first did a lot of content on what is tapas. Then we said, you know what? We took a very renowned chef and we said, we will teach you how to make Indian tapas. Uske baad, like samosa ye wo. So, and now, then we opened a contest that please, if you're a home chef or you love cooking, give in your tapas recipes, but make it with Mao Maestra wheat. We launched the wheat beer. And give in your recipes. One of the luckiest one will be called to Delhi for the final. So we had our key markets. We got the finalist. We did the final there. It went into season 2 and almost into season 3. So we could have just gone and sold beer. But the thing is that we are telling people, we are different things that a brand requires. For example, every organization has their own business objectives, marketing objectives, right? But at the end of the day, alcohol, beer, wine, whiskey, whatever, it's something to taste. How do you create that experience around it that they remember you, just not for something to drink and get tully, bottom line. So, and also to drive the message, your brand message, that's more important. So there's a few examples I can give you which are more experiential laid, which used to happen when VR and AR did not come into play. Nowadays, it's more sophisticated. Not sophisticated, I would say. It's just jumped a bit in with more technology adoption. For example, यही वाला जो beer appreciation session था, imagine that you can do a virtual tour of the brewery. Imagine if you have a VR equipment, I mean, your glasses on, you can really feel that you are the master brewer. So you can feel the barley, you can feel the hops, you can pour in the different proportions, you can know how a beer or an alcohol is made, or you can be the master brewer. So the biggest advantage of personalization, biggest advantage of the immersification is that you can give that personalized touch. You can make it personalized and customized for your needs. So when you're getting into that zone, you are one with that environment and your experience is not as the same as the other person's experience. That's the biggest advantage. So I become Romy the master brewer, and I can create one type of beer, stout, for example, right? Somebody else, you can create another type of beer. Your choice. Very simple AR examples, for example. I saw a very good example in Australian beer. Their label was such that if you point your mobile through QR code, they tell you the entire story. Storytelling is a very big thing, as Navroz was also saying. To engage people. That had such a rich story behind, that character in that started talking and telling you the story. Because you're seeing through that audio visual medium. So that's instantly grabbing your attention, right? For example, as I was saying, bartender. I'm a bartender, I become a bartender, or I can get the feel that I look at the screen, the door opens up, I'm inside that arena, there's an event going on, like this, for example, and then there is a bar there, and I have the right to choose which one, mix whichever one, then the offers, etc. come into play. Another example, menus. You have a digitized menu. You go to an outlet, you just scan, probably, and this is something I'm thinking aloud right now also, you scan, and it pops up and give you a very lively way of menus of food and drinks, maybe depending on your frequency, recency, how many times you have come, with how many people you have come, what are the type of drinks that you like. So the biggest power with these experiential nowadays, and gamification, of course, we are all talking about it, I don't want to repeat it, that you can put yourself inside, or the prospective consumer inside it, so that they get glued as if they are the co-owner and the co-creator. That's the difference between normal marketing and experiential marketing. In experiential, you're experiencing it, but you're still not the co-owner or the co-creator. But in immersification, you are becoming a part of it. These are such simple things. There's no rocket science in it, So, and the options are limitless, what you can do with it. Everybody is doing it. Everybody is on the Gen Z, is always on the phone with almost wanting to go inside the phone row. So we are putting them inside it only, actually, to experience it. So these are few examples how it used to happen before, where it was more physical, experiential, where you're creating these pop-up zones or experience zones where you're tasting the product, feeling the product, having some events which are on the theme of that brand, etc. And now there is more, which is more into this, plus, you know what, you can experience it being within it, So that's the only difference. I don't think there is a very big difference there. At the end of the day, in today's world, where loyalty, consumers are completely confused with the number of variety of products there in the market. So many types, functional, there's non-functional. It's crazy, the amount of options that you have, the portfolio. The portfolio marketing has gone to a level that every brand is a portfolio and they have 10,000 other SKUs under it. So how do you remain top of mind? If you don't create those connections, those relations, those storytelling, that feeling that I am part of it, I'm engaged. Otherwise, your consumer will not stay, because that's how cluttered the environment is. And that is not an exception for liquor or alcohol industry. More so, because liquor or alcohol, beer are something that you taste. How do you make something that you taste, something with only audio visual, and make it so interesting, along with it, that you will not forget that experience? It's not an easy task, because it's something that you cannot taste through a phone. But at least you can create those stories and reasons for you to remember that brand enough through this experience that you will not forget. And consistency. I always say that it's not about how you do experiential marketing. It is about how innovatively you do it. Innovation is the key. Something that Navroz was saying, that aha factor, that, I never thought about this. Because today's kids, they know everything, let me tell you. They know everything. You cannot impress them so easily. So you have to have the aha moment, And how consistently you're doing it so that it creates that impression. हम बोलते हैं ना 21 दिन एक काम करो तो वो habit बन जाता है types. At every touch point of the consumer's life, wherever they're going. And also innovatively, consistently, and also keep on changing it so that the interest factor is there. And how you're co-owning it. The more you do user-generated thing, the more you take their opinion, the more personalized content that you do or experiences that you do, the chances are that you will be remembered and it will convert to a sale. There's no guarantee though. But this is how everybody is going, so we have to go through the flow. I don't want to take much time. I know that there's not many things that I have to say. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I can answer with my humble knowledge so far. But all I know, I will repeat 3 things, is experiential is becoming more immersive, because you have to be immersive because of all this technology, adoption, gamification, AI, AR, VR, etc. You need to be consistent at every touch point of the consumer to create those experiences. Just not that मैंने ad बना दिया तो हो गया. You have to be consistent with your messaging, how you're doing, what you want to drive. You have to be innovative. Innovation is key in today's world, whether it's packaging, whether it's product, whether it's the way you activate the product in the market, whether it's the trade marketing that you're doing, whether it's the consumer marketing or the PR you're doing, everything, innovation is the key. Even packaging, even route to market, even your delivery system, even your supply chain, everything, You have to be one step ahead so that they have the aha moment. And this is where AR, VR, AI, all is coming into play. We have to be on top of that. We have to be. Otherwise, we'll be lost. And it's not scary. It's interesting. It's just a way of thinking, like, how can I make it so interesting so that the consumers are not somebody who I'm selling my product to, but they are co-authors and co-owners with us. Right? So that's all. I don't have much to say. So any questions?
If there are any questions, we can have one question. Yes, please.
Sure,
yes.
Sure.
Please, yes, you can stand and, yes. You can take this microphone and just introduce yourself. Okay. Can we get this active? Yeah. Okay, go on, yes. Okay.
Okay, good question. First of all, I don't think that's true, because globally, more or less 60-70% has gone into experiential marketing. The entire game has changed. When I came into action, it was all 80% ATL. Now it's not. For many years, trust me. And in fact, it is good for the company because it's cheaper. It's cheaper, you can measure, it's measurable. Every penny that you're putting, whether through digital or any of these things, you can measure. So that's a very big thing for the business, because the CMO will be asked on the ROI, what you're giving back. And yes, I agree, maybe immersive AI, VR may be costly, but then you have 3 factors. One is, what is the objective? If your objective initially is to drive awareness because you're a new brand, of course you need some more reach things, which are more ATL, I'm not saying that you can't do it digitally. But in the life cycle of the brand, if you've gone to a stage where you now want to have more sales, more connections, more soft leads, more scale or more depth of distribution, etc., then you need to start doing this. They are high on cost per contact, agree, but they will give you better conversion. So there's always a trade-off. That depends on the marketing objective of any brand. Initially, I might do only ATL much. Then I will go to the level of experiential and activating in the market in the point of sales, so that I now start getting sales more or some soft leads or whatever. So it depends on which situation of the brand is. But for sure, digital domain is extremely cost effective and it's measurable. So that makes a lot of sense. And most companies are starting to put a lot of their budget in this domain. Doesn't mean that they will not do ATL. They would, depending on what they want from the market or what the brand needs to be doing in the market. So it happens hand on hand, or sometimes when the brand is a little more mature, you go more towards experiential, and because you need then conversions, because experiential gives you more chances of conversions. But still you will be questioned as a CMO, I'm telling you. Where did the money go for?
Right. Thank you.
And
We're
what
out
was
of
the
time.
target? Thank you so much.
We can have these
For your time,
conversations
ladies and gentlemen.
offline. So thank you, Ramita. Please stay on the stage. I want to invite Nani Singh, Chief Executive Showcase Events, to felicitate Ramita. We can have a round of applause.